Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at United Health, and we have been tracking here all along this green scenario in which we have a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, and then another 1-2 setup, a longer third wave to the upside, and we would now be in the fourth wave to the downside. Now within this fourth wave we expect to find a reversal from somewhere in this green support zone between $260.5 down to around $96.5, and after we find support in this area we expect a reversal to the upside to new all-time highs in the fifth wave. Now if we actually break below the 50% retracement level, and that's a pretty bold assumption, we are still quite far from it, we do have a fallback scenario, but for now we will keep focusing on what we have at hand. And in this case, within this fourth wave to the downside, we have been tracking two different scenarios. And firstly, we have the orange scenario in which we have an A wave down, a B wave up, and we would now be tracking a C wave to the downside. And I do pretty much need this movement to the downside to continue for the orange scenario to be valid. And in the case that we push directly higher, I would have to take that off the chart because the probabilities of something like that happening are quite low then. And then next up we have the white scenario in which we are tracking a 5-wave pattern in the A wave to the downside here in a 1, 2, 3, 4 and the fifth wave down, possibly complete now. And that would mark the A wave complete, and then we would be looking for a decently large correction in a B wave, and then still continuation to the downside in the C wave, quite probably to even lower lows, and that would form a wave 4 in a zigzag correction here in an ABC pattern. Now looking at the structure here, we did actually push further up, and in the previous video, I mentioned that this resistance zone in white would be the last indication that we would be heading directly lower here with a third wave to the downside that would have allowed continuation either in both the orange and the white scenario. But we actually broke it quite soon after, and I did provide in the alternative that we do push directly higher, especially based on the structure that has developed then. I did provide this support zone for continuation directly to the upside, and that seems to have worked out quite nicely. Now, based on how the structure actually developed, I wouldn't necessarily call this as the count that I gave in the previous video, but it could be maybe something slightly more differently, where we had here maybe like a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, and then another 1-2 setup, and then this would be the third wave to the upside, and now we would be looking for a fourth and a fifth, and then probably another fourth and another fifth to complete this movement. Now we did break above the resistance level for this B wave, in this case where we would have a larger ABC pattern in the A wave to the downside, in the fifth wave of the A wave to the downside, and that is a pretty solid indication that we could continue directly higher. But I would need to see a break above this fourth wave high to actually make it official that we are heading into the B wave directly to the upside. And I do expect to find quite some strong resistance in that area, and there's even this high that would serve as resistance, even this one, and I will even add a box in this area. So I do expect to find substantial resistance somewhere in this area in the red box. Now, based on the price structure that developed, however, I do also expect at least some continuation to the upside. Even if it is something more bearish, it could be that this is rather a simple ABC pattern that is developing. But we will be tracking this closely, and as I said, we could be looking here for a 1, 2, and a larger third, a fourth, and a fifth This could end early. Keep in mind, we are overall in a large B wave. Even in the bullish case here, we are looking for a B wave, so it could develop in an A, B, C, and the A wave could easily be a 3-wave move, so we don't necessarily need to complete all the 5 waves here, although I would expect them to complete in some way because we do also have this small movement here. And yeah, taking a closer look in the smaller time frame here, I am still looking for a smaller count in this area where we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to complete. And let me make these smaller degrees. And for support in the 4th wave that would follow, I would be looking at the area, let's see, between for white, yeah, $299.5 down to around $288 level. This, a break below the 50% retracement here, would be invalidation of this interpretation. Now something different could develop, but that would be a pretty decent warning that we could head directly lower, and we need to be very careful about that. But overall, maybe, just maybe, so this would be the overall support zone, but I think that we could have seen here a 1, 2, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that developed, and maybe it is only the 3rd wave, this one. So I could give you a closer support zone to the target here, but it would only slightly change it, and if we really want, we can consider this another 1, 2 setup. But as I said, these are just small differences in the support zone that we would be tracking. So if you want, at the $300 level would be the first level of entry that I would start considering. But overall, the support zone that I am mainly tracking would be, yeah, this one. So from $300 down to around $288.6. So for now, we are still looking for higher. To sum it up, downside, direct downside is still a possibility, but I find it very likely that we will at least head into the red resistance zone in this area. And I do also find it very likely that we build another 5th wave to the upside regardless. So for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover. And I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.